Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tim, a portrait and fashion photographer and a filmmaker based in London. So today I would be sharing with you guys how I got the shot. So I did this shoot a couple weeks ago, and after posting these images on my social media, Instagram, and I think on the post I made previously about this particular photo shoot, I had some requests from some people who were like asking me how I lit the shot or how I actually like got the images. So here we are today. I would love to share with you guys how I went about getting the shots. A very easy setup, as I used two different lights. The two different lights I decided to use in this particular photo shoot were two godox V1 flashes. So I had one which was my main light, and I had another which was acting more as a fill light. So the main light in question was the light which was actually on a stand, and the fill light was the light on camera. So I had the on camera flash and I had another one on a stand, and the light on the stand had a modifier on it, and I decided to use a magmod soft dome diffuser for the main light which is on the stand. So to start off with this particular image right here, which you can see the camera setting I used, I started off by first exposing for the environment. So this is very important, because if you're shooting with flash, you need to like first start off by exposing for your environment, because you don't want it going into total shadow or black or something. So I exposed for the environment using my shutter speed and maybe my ISO, just to like make sure I'm getting the ambience of the environment first off the way I want to get it. And also bear in mind that you have your camera sync speed or your flash sync speed to actually your camera sync speed to consider also. So that means I would be limited to probably a shutter speed of 1/200 or a shutter speed of 1/250, depending on the camera you're using. You could check that up to see what your camera sync speed is, and if you feel like you don't want to be restricted to the camera sync speed, then you go HSS. But in this particular image right here, I didn't use HSS because it's an indoor kind of situation, so there was really no point to do that. So I decided to shoot at this particular shutter speed. Then my main light, which is the light on the stand with the magmod modifier, was camera left. So I decided to put it left of my model or my subject, and what I decided to do is I made this my main light, which is pointing directly to my model, and the second light which I had on my camera was acting as a fill light. So mind you, the flash I had on the camera was a fill light, was also acting as a trigger. So I was using this particular flash that was on the camera to trigger the main light, and also I was using this particular flash to act as a fill light. So these are things you need to consider. Obviously the main light will be brighter than the fill light. The fill light was just literally just to lift up the shadow of this particular image, and this is how we came about this particular image. And for this next image we have right here, where the model was standing right next or at the front of the door, I decided to use just a single light source right here. It was just a single light, and the particular light we're talking about is just a godox V1 on camera flash pointed straight up. It's just a bounce flash. I didn't use the second light, which is the main light at this point in time, because I really didn't see the need for it in this particular image. So it was just the bounce light, and we got this particular image right here. So moving on to the other image right here, since I have done just with the bounce flash only on camera, I decided to just be a little bit creative and artistic with the image. I decided to put the bridal the bridal veil on the model, and since the veil was on, I just needed a second light to be able to like create that separation or create the defined line of the model in question right here. So I decided to use my main light, which was on the camera stand. This time it wasn't acting to fill up anything right now. I decided to take this main light, I took it behind the model, so it was acting more as a backlight in this kind of situation. So I decided to adjust the power setting for this particular image and place it behind, so it can just create that kind of like rim light on my subject. And I also had the fill light, which was on camera flash, to fill up the shadow area, just to bring up the exposure. And this is how we got this particular image right here. And also this particular image, also I just decided to tweak some things around or move some things around. I decided to put the main light, which is the light on the stand, which is another V1, as I said earlier, as I'm using two different godox V1 for this particular shoot. I decided to put the main lights at the floor, like on the floor of the stairs, like the base of the stairs, sorry. And I decided to still have my few lights just on my camera, and this time the main light was acting more of a, let's call it more like a rim light in this kind of situation, and I also had my few lights to just bring up the exposure. So it was quite a very like simple, easy kind of like photo session, which we did right here. I absolutely love the images from this particular look, and it was quite easy to pull off. And I think probably when next I'm shooting like a wedding, or I'm going to a wedding as a photographer, I might just be trying this out, because I actually love the results I got from it. And also using the Lumix S5ii for this particular photo shoot was quite good. The autofocus was amazing. I didn't have nothing to complain about, even though I decided to push myself in this particular photo shoot to shoot with just the Lumix 50mm, and it turned out really nice. So we're gonna move on to another part of the image. So in this particular image right here, I was using both natural lights, and I was also using a strobe, which is the V1. So my natural light was acting as my main light in this particular picture right here, because you know she was right by the door outside of the hotel. And so I balanced my natural light to get the perfect exposure. And the second thing I did was I had my godox V1, which was on the light stand directly behind her inside, so an angle to like the right hand side at an angle. I had that just to create maybe like a rim light. Or now the image is, in this particular image, it wasn't that evident that there was another light there, but I guess it just created a little bit of highlight around the dress or something, just created three-dimensional image. So I'm going to move on to the next image right here, where we show in this particular room that had a orange chandelier, and yeah, the chandelier was like full on warm lights in this particular scene, and we had like some lamps that were, you know, literally like emitting like 2800 Kelvin kind of lights, that proper kind of warm situation. So what I decided to do in this particular situation was I had both my main light and my few lights. My main light was just a light on the stand, and also the few lights was light on my camera. My main light this time, I decided to add a magmod CTO, like that's color temperature orange, on my light. And the reason why I decided to do this was because I wanted to match my main lights to the general ambient lights we have right there, so I could decide to move my white balance to at least like adjust in a way that the image doesn't look absolutely orange or something, and at the same time I don't want to shoot it in the particular white balance of the light so everything looks white. I don't know if that makes sense, because if I am to move my white balance from 5600 Kelvin to about 2800 Kelvin, all of the lights won't look orange, they would look white. But I didn't want them to look white, I want them to look orange. Sorry, I didn't want them to look white, I want them to look almost now natural they look like there. So I decided to add a color temperature orange on the main lights, and I left my few lights the same way, and that's how we got these images right here. If you notice, guys, most of these images right here, I have always been putting my light to either one side and just have a shadow to the other side. And also when she decided to sit down, I decided to put the lights to the right hand side at this particular point in time, and there was a reason why I decided to do that. And the reason why I decided to do this was because we had a lamp in the shot, and aside the lamp being in the shot, we also had like window light coming from one direction, so I didn't want to fight the window light. I wanted the light to come from the same direction where the main light was coming from. So that's the reason why I decided to move direction with light, my main lights at this point in time. So I'm gonna move on to the last image we have here, where we decided to do this particular images, the photos in the room, like more of the getting ready kind of like image of the bride. So the bride in question right here, she was on the bed. The room was also warmly lit. I still had my CTO lights gel. Sorry, I still had my CTO gel on my godox V1, and I placed it to the left hand side of the model, and also had my fill light on, and that was how I got these images right here. So these images are like quite easy to actually like recreate if you love to recreate these images, as I absolutely love the image. I love the result that we actually got from this particular photo shoot, and I'll be looking forward to doing more shoots at maybe different locations, where I'll try out new things and push myself. So yeah, and I'm actually looking forward to shooting maybe more weddings, and try to like play with lights on a wedding day. So if you guys have been able to learn something from this particular image, kindly hit the like, and you don't forget to share with your friends, and maybe like other colleagues, and don't forget to subscribe on my channel also. And you can also tell me what your favorite image is in all of the setup images, and I'll be seeing you guys on my next video. So take care, guys.